Do you have old handwriting of your child? If your child is currently in lower grade, it's easy enough to ask them to write letters for you. But what if you only have old pieces of handwriting and just a few? You can still create an alpha from their handwriting using a few tricks. Here is one piece of handwriting when my daughter was probably in grade 1. She knew how to write letters but didn't really know how to spell all the words, so she was trying. The first thing you want to do is open a blank image, and I'm going to be using maybe 1200 by 1200 pixels. It will all depend on the size of each individual letters you have available. So the first part, I'm going to be using the magic wand, and since everything is pretty much the same color, I can use the RGB value, and I want to have a good tolerance because of some fading around, but it will depend on the actual piece that you have. And you want to have the contiguous checked and the anti-alias checked also. So I'm going to start with finding an A, and I have one here. So I will select it with my magic wand. I'll copy it and paste it as a new layer, and I'll put it on top. Now I'll get a B. I have one here. And I move it. Notice that the size is not necessarily identical, and that's fine too. Now I'll get a C, and I'll add it again to my alphabet. Now I'm looking for a D, and the only D I have here is an uppercase, which will be a little bit out of place in my alphabet. So what can I do? I can cheat a little bit and use the B and then flip it. So I can go under image and flip horizontal, and I have something that looks like a D. Not bad. I can find an E. And now for an F, again, I don't have one, but I can create one with various parts of the handwriting there. So I can start with a T, and maybe I can add the top of an R, for example. So maybe the R in pork. So now I just add it. Let's line them up more or less. And of course, we can see that it's an R. Let's zoom in just so we can see the details. You can see that there's some white around. What I can do, I can use my eraser tool and slightly remove this part. See, not bad. And that little tail on top here also doesn't belong there if I'm supposed to make an F. And now I have something that looks like an F. Since it's two parts, let's just right click, merge down for this letter. So now I have an F. So now I can continue adding letters as I find them on that piece of handwriting, or creating it if I'm missing some. I'll do the rest of the alphabet and I'll come back later. Now I have all the letters of the alphabet either extracted from the piece of handwriting or created from scratch. And as you notice, V, W, X, Y, and Z were not in this piece. So I had to create them from scratch. Now at this point, you want to name all the layers that you have. So for each letter, you write down the letter in the name. So here we have the U. You click, enter the letter and return. And you do that for every letter on your alphabet. This will make it so much easier when you create a project after and you just need all the letters. So let me do all the typing and I'll be back in a minute. Now that I have all my letters and my layers well identified, it's going to be very easy to write a word. So let's open just a blank image, and if I wanted to write a name, I can simply alternate between the two to copy and paste or simply drag and drop. So if I wanted to write Susan, I can get the S, drag it in. Go to the U, drag it in. Go to the Z. Go down to the A. And finally the N. Here. And now it's just time to place those letters on your project wherever you want. And you have a special name using a special handwriting of your child. Now it's time to try it. Enjoy!